A user journey is well, it's a little bit of a fun experience that everybody really needs to do. The reason why is take a look at a company such as Disney World, or just Disney in general. If you go to Disney World, you'll think, well, I have so many options. I can do so many wonderful things. The reality is that pretty much every single little thing you can ever do at Disney is already planned for you. They've taken every single contingency. If you think, hey, I'm going to go right, but hey, I'm going to trick them, I'm going to go left, well, that's not going to happen because Disney has planned through pretty much every single situation that can possibly ever happen in any of the parks with any of their team members, so you can have a quote unquote magical experience. And I'm not using air quotes. Uh, Ironically, I mean that literally. They call them magical experiences. Now, most of us probably don't have a bazillion-dollar infinite budget to create, craft, and plan all of these. So, in today's Morning for Visionaries, we're going over how you and I, regular Joe Schmoes, who have a small business, can create reasonable, good quality user journeys. Now, this is the second time I'm doing this live stream because yet once again, I forgot to turn on the audio the first time. So this is a redo of the initial video that I put out this morning. But that's okay. We live, we learn, and I need to create a user journey for myself on how to create these videos so I can follow steps by steps by steps. And so that does sound like a user manual or an employee handbook. And you would be correct because a user journey is not just for clients. It's not just for people coming in through your shop's door. It's not just for website visitors. A user journey, taking it at the high level, is for anybody doing anything in or around your business. So what user experience do you want to give to people? Now that is a good question. Now first, let's go over some, I guess, ideas of where you could use a user journey. You could use it in user onboarding. Somebody just purchased your app or your service online, and how do you onboard them into your product, service, thingamajig, and what is a good experience that you want them to have? What should they learn? What should they do? How do you want them to go through these things initially? Well, you can plan this. What about a sales call? There's a user journey for a sales call. How about a user journey for somebody inquiring via email, via Twitter, via Facebook? What if you found them because you are on a Facebook or a LinkedIn group and somebody says, hey, I have a problem with the website. How can I solve this thing? And you're like, hey, I can solve this. So what is the user journey you want them to go through when you're pitching them? How about a user journey when they're already in your business, giving you money? What should happen when you're completing their project? How about when they're done with the project and leaving? What happens when somebody leaves the door? A quick example is is the user experience when somebody books an Uber. You can plan this out actually. They have a defined user experience that they're updating, upgrading, and improving most of the time. But they want a specific user experience, which their goal of that user experience, booking, is you have a good experience and you can do it quickly and you can get to your car quickly so that you can give them money. That's the whole point of that good experience. Does do we have to plan for every single little contingency? What if somebody walks in the door and trips? Maybe eventually, if we have the time and the money, we can plan for these things. First and foremost, us small people, what we should be planning for are the things that really are important to us right now. For the most of us, that's going to be user onboarding once they finally give you money, the sales calls or the sales process in general, and potentially, depending what you're doing, the experience that they have while doing business with them. And if you can, and this one's usually a hard one, what to do after they have completed the experience with your business, what to do afterwards. Them exiting, after they've exited, what's next. Because by the way, the user journey doesn't end when they leave your business. No, but that's a topic for another video. Let's focus on how do we craft this initial user experience for us regular people. It starts out by creating, or at least I recommend you do so, by creating a few general types, or at least, actually, let's take a step back. One great way is to first list out what kind of user experiences you'd want to craft. So let's I guess focus on creating the sales experience. So first, let's figure out, what types of ways does somebody get into my sales funnel? And by the way, a sales funnel is a type of a user journey. They're not mutually exclusive. They're kind of related, but generally you can think of the user journey as kind of the general thing, and a sales funnel or marketing funnel process is a type of user journey. Now, there are multiple ways somebody can get into your business. They can give you a call. They can give you a call during business hours, after hours, while you're on another call. They can email you from a referral. They can email you directly. They can fill out your contact form. They can meet you at a networking event. You can find them on Facebook. They found you on Facebook, on LinkedIn, whatever. Whatever are the ways that somebody can find you in the most popular kinds of ways, go ask them first, or at least go figure out those ways first. So if you do most of your inbound selling via the phone, plan out your various phone user journeys. Now, what does that mean? Plan this idea out, because somebody might say, well, the user journey is really just I pick up the phone and I talk to them. Well, yeah, I guess. That's kind of the non planned version. But if you want to have experiences as good as Disney throughout everything that's going on, well, you need to plan this. So, what happens if you're not doing much and a call comes in, right? Well, you can pick up the phone. Well, the question is then, do you pick up your phone or does it go to a corporate line? Does it go to an automated voice messaging system thing? Does a secretary pick it up? I don't know. You tell me. What is that experience supposed to be like? Because depending how you define these things will define how your brand looks, feels, and communicates with your clients. So to create all of these things, step number one is figure out what the user experiences you want to plan and craft. You don't have to, again, you don't have to plan everything initially. Start picking a few and you can start building from there. That's the whole idea. Bit by bit, baby steps, and you'll eventually get there. Because as the saying is, when's the best time to invest? Right now, or yesterday. What's the second best time? Today. So might as well start today on creating some user experiences and go forward from there. So plan out what you want. I do recommend starting with both the initial potential high-level sales experiences as well as onboarding. So what do you do from there? Well, one, pick a ideal client. You don't have to go through a complete ideal client creation profile process because that's very intensive. Think of a few basic things, some basic demographics and some basic psychographics, but most importantly, what is their need at the moment that starts this specific user journey. And the user journey, by the way, can be very, very short and 3, 4, 5 steps, whatever. It can be as simple as they pick up the phone just to ask what time it is or what time you open. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be an extremely long one. Which one you're planning is up to you. But initially, I recommend keeping it small, simple, because if you start small and simple, you can say, and let's take you through a simple example. So you plan out that John or Joanne Smith has a need for buying balloons online. I'm making things up. So they want to buy balloons online because they have the party and they need it delivered today, right? They forgot to buy balloons earlier for their kids' party, so they need balloons today. Great. So their need really is they need to find balloons locally and quickly, and they need to get it delivered today. So they find you, but they want to call you up. So what is this experience? They want to call somebody because that's the fastest way they feel that is, well, what's going to get them the balloons the fastest. So the John Joanne Smith, parents, local area, they need balloons right now. Some basic information about this person. Now, question after that, what kind of services can you offer from here? You can offer the balloons, of course, because we're talking about the use case of buying balloons or party supplies, depending how generic you want to get this example. So you can offer balloons, extra party supplies, delivery, blah, blah. You can offer all of these things. Then match what their need is to your current available services or ideal services. From there, what are the touch points that they could possibly get to you for this user path that you want them to go through that you're going to start planning? Phone panicked, phone while you're super busy. They can email you, send you a Twitter message if you're really on that. Whatever that path is, you figure it out. What is that touch point? So let's say it is a phone call. Now start planning that specific path. They have the need, they're panicked, they find you on Google. Let's say on Google Maps, right? They go to Google Maps and type in balloon person. I don't know. Well, great. So now we know And then they call you up, right? How are you going to answer? Are you going to say, hey, what's up? No, probably not. You're probably going to say, hey, this is the balloon guy here in Evanston. May I take your order? Or whatever it might be, right? Point being, you need to plan out what you're going to say. Then, what is the sales conversation afterwards? Do you need balloons? What are you looking for? How many? Where to? What time? Et cetera, et cetera. And then, what is this little process? Can you call it a sales process? Yes. I prefer to call it the journey because then I'm thinking less of, yes, we need the sale, of course. We love the money. Duh. But we're thinking about the whole experience that somebody has to go through this specific path that they might be having to solve this need. So then we do a few more of these. So you have they called in panicked. Well, now let's do they have called in after hours. They emailed us. Well, now they're going into the store to pick up the balloons, or they need the delivery. What's the user experience of them asking for delivery? What is the user experience of you doing the delivery to them? Do you bang on the door going, hey, open up, it's the balloons? Well, it's kind of freaky. Now, maybe knock, knock, knock. Hey, I'm the balloon guy. Here are your balloons, right? Here's the receipt. What is this process that you want people to go through to have a good experience? So you can plan all these out. Do you have to do everything? No. Pick a few that you can start working on, because now you have this plan and this path you want people to go through. You can start saying, well, the ideal path is step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Cool. These 5 steps I want somebody to do in an ideal world. Then you look at what you're doing in real life, and you might say, well, crud, I'm only actually doing 1, 2, and 3. I'm not actually doing 4 and 5. Or, I'm doing step 1, step 2. And then, well, I've never really introduced myself properly because I'm doing that poorly. And I kind of do these, but not very well. Well, now you know. You have some data, and you have an ideal to start striving for to improve yourself and your business. So then you start doing more and more of these things, and you start seeing where you are compared to the ideal. You start getting some data points. Now, speaking of data points, because I love data. Anybody who's known me knows I love data, I love automation, and I love tracking things. Am I perfect at it? No. But I do love data. So one thing you can do is, and this was kind of an advanced thing, so this topic in and of itself is for another video, but to quickly let you know, you can create essentially like a spreadsheet-like grid where the columns are the steps. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc., etc. And for each step, you have rows, which are the data points of what is the person's need, what are they doing at that step, how are they feeling at that step, what are you doing at that step, what do you need to be doing at that step, how do you need to respond at that step, how do you feel at that step, etc. You can, whatever those data points might be, you can start tracking them. And by the way, not every single point is relevant to every single step, but it could be. But your point is you start figuring out what all those data points are, and you can start tracking it per experience. It's not easy always, but it is possible. Again, that's why it's more advanced. But you start figuring out what you can't do, where you're not doing so well, where are you doing so well. At the easiest level, you could have a very simple spreadsheet. You have your steps in the columns, and the one point you're tracking is how well are you doing in that step, and how do they feel at that step. So they call in, they feel panicked, and by the end of step 5, they should be feeling happy and content, satisfied, whatever that might be, right? And if by step 5 you find out that out of 10 phone calls that you had, 9 don't feel happy and end up angry, well, there's something wrong with the process, or there's something really bad going on between step 1 and your last step. So your goal is to have them be happy, and they're not. So you can start figuring these things out. Now we have these, for example, internally, we have the user journey path for somebody filling out our form, a user journey for somebody calling in, a user journey for the initial sales call. We call it the project intro call. A user journey for somebody starting a project with us, somebody getting into our project management system, creating a support ticket. There's a lot of these that you can be creating. I hope that I can find the screenshot and share the page with you of the board of the page that we used on an event that we did not too long ago about user journeys. So I hope I could create and add that to the link after I finish this video. But that is a cool little example of the little page that I told you about. You can start filling these out. It is and kind of like I was saying, start high level. The reason why is you're just starting on these things. There's a lot to get through. There's a lot to think about. And you're not going to be perfect on these things. And that's okay. because the whole point is to start getting your brain juices going on what user experiences you can create, improve, and do really well on. So I hope I can share that page with you because it really does get you going. You don't work on just one, work on a whole bunch of these. Like I said, you can do onboarding of various types, sales calls of various types, somebody leaving the shop out the window. One that actually came up not too long ago was, well, what to do, uh, not in the event, but what to do about getting more people to register on our list after they buy our product, because we don't have any way to contact them. Well, by the way, a quick little user journey you can think through is, well, you can start offering them a warranty or a free product or whatever. But to do that, they have to read the card, go to the URL, or email you the postcard back, and then they register for the warranty. You think those warranty things that companies offer are just for free to give you an actual warranty so they can lose money on fixing the products? No, of course not. They give those warranties so they can collect data on you. And that's how they get you on the list, into their system. You can be doing the same thing. After somebody buys flowers from you, shoes from you, toss a little warranty card or 10% discount, but they have to do some action in order to get that. Register, email you, get on the list, fill out this information, fill out a form, whatever it might be. That's what those things are for. But there's a user journey for that. And once you figure out this journey, you can put it online, you can start improving it. And so that's the quick little introduction to user journeys. It does get rather comprehensive. If you look online, by the way, you'll see a whole lot of, or some really complex user journeys. You can see a whole bunch of examples. Just Google images, just go to Google Images and search for user journey. You'll see a whole bunch of those grid things. You'll see some with graphs and lines and doodles. Don't worry about going so crazy. Start simple, start small, start planning it bit by bit. So get your high level, quick user journey, create a whole bunch of those, then go back to one and work on that user journey and put as much detail and steps and planning into it as you reasonably can so you can start moving forward. So that's today's proper Morning for Visionaries with sound this time. So thanks so much for listening. If you have any comments, questions, or would love to discuss user journeys more, leave some questions or info in the comments and we'll let you know more. And I hope I can share that page with you right after this video is done. Let us know if you have any questions. See you around next time. Doodles. Bye.